everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Probation podcast. Today, we are with...
Hi, I'm Sinclair Jennes.
Give us a little background on yourself before we start. Where are you from? What's your story?
I am from Hell's Kitchen, New York, born and raised. Evan and I met when I was in college, and then I dropped out after one semester.
Better than most people.
Right? Especially where we go.
Yeah.
Everyone dropped out after first semester. It was like a ghost town.
All our
crazy.
friends.
Literally all of our friends. Except, never mind. Anyway, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
Yeah.
that hoe.
Wait,
Sorry.
the only thing I was gonna say before was like to preface, like this is my first time meeting you.
This is true. This is our first time
Everything
meeting.
that you're learning, I'm also
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know some stuff through like me, and then through
Yeah.
like me and okay.
This is what I said. I know your lore, sort of.
Okay, there's some crazy fucking lore. There's some crazy lore that you're gonna learn.
Fucking lore.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick backstory on us. So we met at orientation in
We did.
July. We became friends really quick over the summer. We're friends until October.
Yeah, and then some crazy shit went down where there was this one girl that we went to school with who was just like causing so many problems all the time. And essentially we had this like one big friend group, and she single-handedly destroyed said friend group, and we didn't talk for a minute. And then long ass time, and then eventually you were like, fuck this is so stupid.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because when Jess stopped hanging out with the friend group as well, so it went you, then Jess.
I was the first one to drop. It was specifically because of this one girl, and she was just like so manipulative. But yeah, I stopped hanging out with the friend group first, and then my roommate, one of my best friends, Jess, was the second to go. And then I remember there was this one night you called, or maybe
Jess called me.
Yeah, because she had gotten removed from the group chat.
Yes.
And then Jess called Evan and was like, hey, the fuck was that for? And Evan was like, well, it's because you're a lying, manipulative bitch or something like that.
Holy shit.
And I was like,
It was crazy that night.
I was like, whoa.
Dude, that night was insane. And then,
Oh my
long story
God.
short, me, Mia, and Jess all sat down and had a very civil conversation.
Yeah.
We just kind of like agreed it's not going to like work. There's no point. We're going to stay civil
Sounds like a
because
breakup.
why not? No,
No,
it literally
it was.
We were
Because
all
we were
so close.
So close. We did everything together for months.
Yeah.
Like, everything. It was
and
crazy.
then this girl ruined it all. And we finally realized in December, after she had like fucked up so many times and caused so many different friendship failures. And then basically, in conclusion, Mia left the group. Now she's like on Broadway, whatever. Jess left the friend group. She has a new friend group who she's doing well with, obviously. Taylor dropped out. Nora dropped out.
Jesus.
And then we were down to like 7.
She had like single-handedly ruined this entire friend group, and like it was like irreparable shit. Like there was nothing anyone could do about it. It was so bad.
Wait, do you know what happened? Like, what was the final draw?
With Nora or like with all of us?
Nora.
With Nora, I think it was like, God, what was it? Oh my God, I do know about this. This.
Yes.
Oh man, I do know about this.
Crazy.
Jesus Christ.
She's insane.
Crazy.
Sage just loves to hook up with my friends.
That is not my.
That's valid.
It was not.
They're hot.
They are like you're like whatever.
But also like it was not me.
No. She came on to Sage.
Jesus.
For the
Dude,
record.
she's so grody.
Yeah.
Anyways, more about you.
Yeah, back to you.
Oh,
This
no.
isn't a Nora interview. I don't even
No.
care about putting her name in it. Like I don't give a
No,
shit.
I mean like at this point,
Everybody knows.
wish you the best. Hope you're doing well at SCAD.
Do we know if she's there 100%?
She is there.
Okay.
I know because one of my friends who goes to SCAD, who I only became friends with after she DM'd me on TikTok telling me that she had been hooking up with my ex-boyfriend and that 7 other people were also hooking up with him while we were still talking. So anyway, that's why I'm friends with her now. But she texted me and she was like, just saw your, old friend from Pace walking around, and I was like, oh no.
Your old friend.
You're like,
an
don't
old pal.
associate
My
that
old
thing.
pal. Yeah, I pretty much I was like, all right.
Is she doing well? Has she destroyed any other friend groups yet?
Probably.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Guarantee
she
it.
took my rings. I bet
She
she
so
did.
did.
100%.
There's no way they just disappeared.
She has a
after.
bunch of like Sarah and
I still have
Taylor
her
stuff.
sweatpants
If
I'm not
you
giving them
if you
back.
see this, please give me my rings back. One was from my grandmother.
Oh my god.
That's sad.
That-
That's
Yeah.
fucked up. Nora, if you're seeing this right now and you still have those rings, give them back.
Please.
Just ship them back anonymously. Don't even say nothing. Just give them back.
Yeah, literally.
I don't want
Anyway,
Well,
enough about her.
anyways, yeah.
back to it. So now we're obviously friends again. Everybody's on good terms, but
Yeah.
it's just obviously not going to be a friend group again because that's impractical.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we did your little introduction, and I feel like the main reason we wanted you to come on the podcast is because you have a lot more to you than like a lot of other people do, in a sense where you're not necessarily like a social media influencer. You're like a Broadway like TV star. Like
I wouldn't
that-
go as far as to
Dope.
say that,
That's
but
sick.
It's
that's
so
really
cool.
nice.
And so I had a few questions about like that type of thing.
Yeah,
so I wanted
please.
to ask you, how old were you when you like started Broadway, Disney, even if it was like a supporting role, small
Yeah.
role?
So I made my Broadway debut right after I had turned 8, but I've been on tour with the same show. I was on a Broadway national tour of Les Miserables. I just turned 7. A couple of days after I turned 7, I went on tour and was on tour everywhere for about a year. And then before that, the very first show I had ever done was Gypsy, which is crazy. But I did like a community theater production of Gypsy where I played like Baby June, if you are familiar with the show. And my mom is an actress, and she was like very apprehensive to even ever let me do this because it's not for the weak, as everyone kind of knows.
Yeah.
She was apprehensive, but I had grown up surrounded by music and surrounded by other performing artists, and it just kind of made sense to me. It was like the one thing that like always made sense to me. So yeah, I started professionally working when I was like 6, 7, and I have not stopped.
It's incredible.
How did like the touring work? Were you guys in like a giant RV? Did your mom and you take like a minivan and do like hotels? Like
Oh
what
my
was the
God.
deal?
So when you're on like an equity tour, I mean, there's either a bus or you're on a plane, depending on where you're going. So it was like all of us going city to city in these giant, beautiful theaters with this huge show. So we were either on a bus. Mondays were our travel days. So, you know, you would have a Sunday matinee, 3 o'clock, pack up your shit in the hotel, get onto the bus with the rest of the cast, or get onto the plane, and then, had a show the next day in whatever city was next. I don't know how many cities I went to on that tour, but it was so many. Plus, we did Canada. Yeah. So it was, but it was me and my mom and my brother, because my brother I don't even think was in school at that point. He was so young. But then when I went on tour with Matilda, it was my grandma and my mom. They kind of switched off because my brother, who's 16 now, needed someone to stay with him and needed someone to be in school. And my parents are divorced, and we don't associate with my dad. So someone needed to stay with him, and my grandma was with me for a lot of that.
And what were you in Matilda again?
Matilda.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Crazy boots.
Dude, you must have had these shows like memorized, like
Oh my God,
on the
yeah.
back of your hand.
Wait, what was your favorite? Like, what was your favorite performance or like favorite song
In
per
Matilda?
se? Yeah.
I mean, even though I technically wasn't even in this song, Revolting Children,
Really?
that shit was always so...
Are you a big Matilda girl, Sage?
Well, I love the movie. I think
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the
It's really
the
fun.
show, but
The thing about Matilda doing it is that I had been auditioning for Matilda since I was like 5 or 6, and I was
Oh my
always
God.
too young. And the casting director basically was just like, keep coming in, and eventually you're gonna be old
Yeah.
enough. And then this other girl, Lily Brooks, who ended up going on tour after I left, who's wonderful and really killing it, she made this TikTok recently talking about the audition process for Matilda. And everyone kind of refers to it as like Matilda boot camp, because it's like weeks and weeks and weeks of these auditions, and only 3 of you get cast, and it's really intense.
God,
And
it's gruesome. That's like
Yeah.
gruesome's
Oh my
not
God.
the right word, but it's demanding,
intense.
especially
It's
as a little
really-
kid.
That's so
I
intense.
was 8. I was 8.
Yeah, that's
And leading this show. And it was also interesting because even when I was doing the show, we were getting notes after the show every single night, very specific, very intense notes. And before every show, we had like an hour and a half of physical warm-ups, vocal warm-ups, and then notes before the show, and then notes after the show as well.
Like a full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 shows a week, 6 days. Broadway schedules and tour schedules are essentially the same. It's 1 show Wednesday, 2 shows, 1 show Tuesdays, 2 show Wednesdays, show Thursday, show Friday, 2 show Saturday, 1 show Sunday, and then day off Monday. And now I'm doing Appropriate on Broadway, and I'm an understudy. So on top of all of that, I'm not doing all the shows every week, but I have understudy rehearsals 1 to 2 days a week before the show, and that's like 4 hours. So it's a lot of work, but I can't see myself ever doing anything else.
You love it.
I love it more than anything.
It's so good that you didn't like lose. Well, I guess that's another question. Was there a point in your life where you like totally lost passion for it at all, or like?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think during COVID, obviously, everyone was losing their fucking minds. I especially lost my mind. And like there was no work happening. No one was working. No one was doing anything. So I kind of started to question, like, is this something I love doing, or is it just something I've done my whole life? It was really hard for me to like differentiate the two. And there was a while where I would tell my mom, like, I don't even want to do this, like, you're making me do it. And she was like, no, I'm not. You can quit if you want. I'm not making you do anything. And then in order for me to really figure out if it was something I love doing, I ended up going to French Woods, which is this arts camp. It's like a musical theater camp. And I did Spring Awakening, which is still to this day one of my favorite musicals. But I wasn't getting paid for it. I was paying them. Yeah. I had no stake in the game. And that solidified for me that, like, oh, like, I'm not just doing this because I get paid for it because I have done it my whole life. It's because I love to do it. Right. And then since then, I haven't doubted again for a second that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's awesome. Did you ever feel like super heavy like pressure on you, especially at such a young age, like from your parents, grandparents? Were they expecting too much from you? Like,
no. I think it's because I'd been doing it for so long, that, and also because I was really good at it, and it was very clear that, like, I loved doing it, and that I could be trusted with these really huge projects. No one ever really put pressure on me. It was more just like my mom and my brother and my grandparents and extended family, friends were always just kind of, everyone was really supportive and always really proud of me, but there was never any, like, pressure per se. I mean, of course, when you're working on these projects, there's always going to be a little bit of pressure to just do your best work even when you don't feel like doing it. But no,
like inherent pressure, like just built in. Wait, do you feel like you grew up really quickly because of it? Because I feel like that's a huge thing that we see even like in Disney, Nickelodeon, like especially with the documentary that just came out with Quiet on Set.
So sad.
It's really awful.
Like, devastating.
These kids have to grow up, or they're forced to, or it's taken away from them, or something like that.
Look, I mean, I was just talking to my mom about this maybe like 2-3 days ago, but I was really lucky. I never went through anything like that.
Thank God.
I've never gone through anything like that. And everyone who I worked with on Disney, in theater, in every single job that I've ever worked on, everyone has had my best interest in mind.
That's so
And I
good.
can say that with certainty. And I feel really lucky because obviously that was not the case for a lot of kids.
It's
so many.
It's
horrifying.
so sad.
It's horrifying. But I never, even for a second, was ever uncomfortable or like I was being asked too much. Like I got really lucky, but like I definitely did have to grow up really fast. I've never spent a full year in school since first grade because I've always been working.
Wow.
I've always been working. I ended up graduating high school a year early though because I was just so desperate to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So I like doubled up on my courses and graduated. I was like, I don't want to be fucking doing this anymore. But yeah, I mean, I never spent a full year in school. I have been surrounded by working adults my whole life. And like, I never really liked kids my age that much. That's changed in recent years. But like, I remember I was like in 4th grade, like going to the office and using the office phone to call my mom and tell her to pick me up because kids were like assholes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
not
hard.
even to me, but just like acting like kids.
Yeah.
And I was not into it.
I mean, it's got to be so confusing as an 8-year-old when you're like on a huge stage, like coordinating this huge production versus normal 8-year-olds who just go home and watch cartoons.
Exactly. I mean, I was still
and watch
both.
the cartoons you're in.
Yeah,
like,
watch the
literally.
cartoons you're in. So,
dude, I mean, like, it was kind of a mixture of both. I definitely didn't have a normal childhood per se, but like, I also kind of did. I mean, like, when I was on tour, I had a whole separate suitcase for all of my stuffed animals.
oh,
and I would bring them with me everywhere. And like, my mom and all the people that I worked with did a really good job of making it feel like I was a kid.
That's good.
I was always very like mature and whatnot, but like, I was still a kid at the end of the day. I also had a scooter when I was doing Matilda. I had a pink Razor scooter with zebra print duct tape on it that I would bring to every single city, and I had a unicorn helmet, and I would ride to the theater on my scooter, and then play Matilda, and then ride back to the hotel on my scooter. Like, I was always a kid, but I think it was always also very apparent to everyone that like I wasn't gonna have a traditional childhood.
Yeah. I think that's like something, it just like matures you so quickly.
Yes.
Like, I feel like, I mean, just for the record, like, Mia just turned 18 in December.
Yeah.
Like, she was 17 for most of freshman year.
You're freshly 18.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Freshly. And it's like, I think to most people, like, just having a conversation with you, you'd think you're so much older. If like you hadn't known that she was like a fresh, like, and like that's how I met her. It's like, I don't know, you just have so much like life experience in that sense.
And I've gotten really lucky in that way. I mean, like, being able to hold cohesive conversations with people is definitely a skill that I don't think I would have had. I mean, I would have had it, but I wouldn't have been as good at it if I hadn't been working.
So I'm curious on like how, like, since you were never really in school, how was like, because I'm just thinking about the drama that you experienced this year.
Yeah.
Did you have like experiences like that before? Or was this like the first like real time where there was like drama?
I mean, no. Like, when I was in middle school, yeah. But it's so like,
it's like petty.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't shit. And I think this year, considering everything that happened, I was just so fucking over it. And I remember telling Jess when everything was going down, I was like, I work a full-time job. Like, what am I even fucking doing?
Why are you bothered by this?
Exactly. I was like, this isn't that serious. Like, it's not that deep. And of course, it was no fun, and it was really fucking annoying, especially when, like, for the first time in, like, so long, I was like, I really, like, I'm loving being a kid and, like, being in college and living in the dorms and doing stupid shit. And then shit like that happens, and I'm like, this is exactly why I didn't want to fucking be here in the first place.
It's too bad that happened then.
Right?
Yeah.
Honestly, if that hadn't happened, no. I mean, I don't know if I would have been in school anyway, but if that hadn't happened, I probably would have had a little bit more faith in people not being assholes.
Yeah.
And people still acting like teenagers.
Yeah, because I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to, because I also feel like you're very mature for being 18.
That's why we get along.
Yeah,
because we understand.
I feel like a lot of people kind of just see through like a pinhole rather than like taking a step back and seeing the situation like as minuscule as it is. Like,
I know.
The situation.
That's why
at
it
hand,
felt so easy to sit down
and
like talk about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
It could have been solved with like a conversation, which it seemed like it kind of was.
And that's exactly, but then like, when you look at how everything went down and when you look at how petty the whole thing was versus how we were able to resolve it, it's like, it's not that fucking serious.
And it would have been so quick if it had just, I honestly, like, so we were in LA the weekend that this all went down. I don't know if you remember that. It was our first trip to LA.
Yeah, I remember hearing like bits and pieces from like a third party perspective. And
I vividly remember exactly what happened. So we were on our way to Barney's Beanery. You know that one?
Of course bro.
We were in our Uber on our way there. We were with our friend Brooks, like all of her like friends that we were just meeting for the first time. And I get a call from, it was either Matt or Aiden, I don't remember who, but they're like, Evan, you're missing like big shit right now. Like, this is crazy. And they're like slurring because you guys were like shit-faced. You were 3 hours ahead of us too.
I am so pissed.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. And they're like, there's like drama with Nora and Mia and Soph and blah 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 blah.
Meanwhile,
it's going crazy, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, explain. And they're like, I'll just tell you later. And I'm like, okay, thanks for like informing me. I guess.
Okay, so anyway, Nora appears at my door. All of that shit happens. And she's still yelling at me. I can, like, smell the alcohol coming off of her. Whenever she got drunk, she got messy. So I told her that to her face.
Single time.
Every time. Without fail.
And this wasn't the first time that she had been messy, like, causing issues. No. The whole thing had happened with Aiden and the closeted boy.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
About, what, a week and a half before that?
Yep.
If that? I don't even know.
And there had been shit that had happened before that, too. Mm-hmm. She got really messy when she was drunk. So I went, Nora, you're messy and you need to go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. And I closed the door. And there was another guy in my dorm at that point who I am friends with. Has a girlfriend who he loves very much, but Nora really wanted. And that was another reason she appeared at my door, you know, talking her shit. And I say, Nora, you're messy. I was like, you're a messy drunk and you need to go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. I closed the door. Then she tells the entire friend group that I called her a messy, slutty bitch or something like that. And I was like,
that's what I heard.
She went down and told everybody that Mia called all of them messy, drunk bitches.
Bitch.
And that, like, none of them can handle their alcohol and, like, blah, blah, blah. And,
I remember that's
went on with it.
And
that was the narrative for a while. Everybody kind of just thought that. Because even when you and Nora, like, were trying to make amends so, like, we could all kind of be, like, friends again, like, Nora never came clean about that.
No, she never told anyone what happened.
How did, like, she get away with that for so long?
Because she was really, what I will give her, she's an incredible manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
She is an incredible manipulator, and she can tell a story that you're going to believe even if you know it's not the truth.
Yeah, because when she was the last straw, when she kissed me, like, she had already drafted a whole message to Taylor to send her, as though, like, it was calculated.
Yep.
Incredibly calculated.
Crazy.
And the girls lived with her. They were, like, in a triple. So it just became very, like, complicated. After there'd be another issue, it'd be like, Nora, like, you can't keep doing this. But it's like, you live with these people. Like, what are you meant to do?
What are you supposed to do? Yeah, but that was the narrative for so long, that I had called all of these girls who I loved like sisters messy drunk bitches, that I'd been talking shit about them, when all I did was say, Nora, you're a messy drunk and you need to go to bed.
And that's, like, a good friend to say that, like, to be able to tell someone, like,
she was embarrassing herself.
It had become a problem.
That you're being messy.
It had become a problem.
Yeah, like, like, you tell me sometimes, like, you're being messy, like, chill.
Or you tell me, you know,
or, like, I tell you,
slurring,
like, it's more of like you're protecting them from embarrassment, even, like, at worst case scenario, like, getting hurt somehow, like, just, like, protecting.
Exactly. And I had genuine good intentions. Like, I never wanted it to become a thing, but she made it a thing. And truthfully, I think she was really jealous of me.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I think she was really jealous of me because I think I've had this career, I had a lot of friends, and I'd also never gotten into a single problem with anyone up until that point.
No.
100%.
I can say that I was really unproblematic. I genuinely loved my friends and had nothing to say about them. Meanwhile, she knew that people had a problem with her because she had created them.
Mm-hmm. And I'll also tell you right now, like, I mean, I've already complained to you about this. Our friends have a horrible reputation at Pace.
Yeah,
people really don't like us. And I'm not going to say, like, oh, I didn't do any, like, maybe I've, like, hurt somebody that I don't, like, know about, whatever. But I think a large part of that narrative was because of Nora. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people knew that she wasn't very nice. And I think a lot of people knew or just associated her with us, making them, like, think, oh, like, we're all, like, just like her or whatever.
Yeah, like,
which is
and also, people adored you. Like, you were very, like, spread out at school. Because, like, none of our close friends, like, in our friend group at the time were in, like, the theater thing, like, type realm, like the musical theater, like acting, whatever. You knew all those people that were in that whole different category of, like, connections, I guess, and they all liked you a lot.
And I've always said, even when I went to school, I was like, as much as I love this concrete, solid friend group that I have, I never want to limit myself to just being friends with these people. So I made a point to to make my to spread my wings. I made a point to be friends with other people and to create close relationships.
And that's again like so important because like most people just focus in on that one friend group and think it's gonna last them throughout college, but in reality like that's usually never the case. Like you have to branch out and like 100%. Meet new people and like because you never know who you're gonna get the closest to.
I think that was another thing that really made her upset, that I had other friends.
That's why she left when we all finally were like, Nora, we can't be friends with you.
Because she had no other friends.
She had nobody else.
She's like a deeply insecure, jealous person.
Yep.
That's why she tries stealing people's
narcissistic
all the time.
Yeah.
When I found out she was going to SCAD, and I was still in contact with my ex-boyfriend, which I am not anymore. If you're seeing this, go fuck yourself.
You will see it too.
I really hope you do, and you know exactly who the fuck you are. Fuck you. Anyway, I found out that she was going to the same school as him, and my first thought was, oh my god, she's going to like seek him out.
Oh, 100%. And I have no doubt that she has at least tried to or contacted
Which is crazy
him.
due to the fact that he dropped out of school to go back to New Jersey and grow weed in his mom's basement. And I'm dead serious, he wanted to start a dispensary. Boy.
Big life goals there.
Big life goals. He dropped out of art school.
He's so dreamy.
He's so dreamy.
I love a man with goals.
So He's so dreamy with goals.
Yeah, oh God, I love
and I've always said that. Anyway, if you know exactly who you are, and I think you're a big old loser.
What happened?
Well, it didn't happen. We were together for a really long time, and we were like very in love. Our relationship was really intense because my mom fucking hated him, and she was right all along. I will say that she was right all along. Aren't they always?
Moms are always right.
She fucking hated him, and she went a little crazy though. It was like there was like legal shit involved at some point. It was bad. Anyway, we were like very in love, and we would have done like anything for each other. And like I have his initials stick and poked on my ankle, and I need it to go away.
Damn, it's like a modern day Romeo and Juliet.
Yes,
correct. Theater girl of you.
It literally is. Meanwhile, this man is like from New Jersey, has never stepped foot on a stage in his life.
No.
And like
literally from contrasting lives.
We were literally
He has way hotter friends too. You had so many other options.
Like really hot friends. Anyway,
Rip Sizzle Train.
Rip Sizzle Train.
Oh God, I miss him.
Me too. Anyway, so what happened was, we had broken up, and then over last summer, we got back in contact. And things had settled down from when we had broken up that January. We started talking again around this time last year. And I was seeing someone else at the time. He knew that. So we'd kept things very cordial. But we checked in on each other occasionally because there still was a lot of love there. Rule of thumb, don't fucking do that. If you're broken up, you're broken up for a reason, and I know that now. But long story short, we had started seeing each other again romantically after I had ended things with the guy that I was seeing.
Boyfriend number two.
Got it. And he's really sweet, but he ended up fucking betraying the shit out of me too, which was crazy. Because like you always think it's the sweet ones, and then they end up being evil too. Like, wow. But anyway, I ended up seeing him again. And I had asked him, like, the first time we had, like, hung out, like, romantically again, I asked him, I was like, so are you, like, going to prom? As a way to, like, see if he was seeing anyone else. He was like, yeah, I'm bringing this one girl, said her name. And I was like, oh, so, like, what's the deal with that? And he was like, oh, we're just friends. He was lying. Not only did she looked exactly like me to the point that people thought we had gotten back together. She looked so much like me. I gotta show you.
Dude, you gotta show a picture. I was like...
Yeah.
Wait, I'm excited.
I ended up reaching out to her after a point because I was so sad and I was so heartbroken because we had been seeing each other really consistently, but then he would lie about going to see her as well.
Oh, so he was like fully cheating on her. Were they like together?
They were exclusive.
Okay, yeah.
So then, he was cheating on her, and he was fucking with me, too.
Loser.
I remember there was this one time I was doing another Broadway show. I had invited him to come and see my show. And I had bought him a ticket. And he was like, great, I'll be there. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to be there. An hour and a half before the show, he texts me, and he goes, this girl isn't comfortable with me coming to your show. And I was like, you're still seeing her? And he was like, yeah, we're exclusive. We've been exclusive this whole time.
Wait, what a douche move to say an hour and a half before your show, too.
I texted her, and I was like, just so you know, this man has been doing this to us both. And she didn't give a fuck, told him to stop talking to me, told him to block me. I was like,
See, girls like that, I'm like, no, I feel like I have no self-respect.
No, it's like you're a lost cause at this point. There's nothing.
Yeah, he's going to do it again.
If he's going to do it to his girlfriend of almost 2 years, he's going to, you lose him how you got him.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
That's a good quote.
I like that.
You lose him how you got him.
You lose him how you got him. People don't.
Quote of the day.
TBH. Long story short, she ended up going to college. He told me that they had stopped talking. They didn't. Found that out later. We had like a very emotional goodbye early that September. Still talked every day. FaceTimed consistently.
This is H?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Found out only a couple months ago that the entire time we had been talking, he had been hooking up with half of that campus. And I would ask him all the time, like, please just be honest. I would be like begging him. I'd be like, please just be honest with me. Like, are you seeing other girls? Like, I'm not seeing anyone. I am still like devoted to you. And he was like, I'm not seeing anyone, but I'm not saying I'm not going to. And I'd be like, fine, you know what, fine. Meanwhile, he totally was seeing other girls. I got so many screenshots, so many disgusting screenshots of him being like, just really gross. Shit.
Yeah, that's so fucking
And then
annoying.
when I finally like told him about it, he was like, I'm not apologizing to you. He was like, I'm not sorry that I did it. I'm just, sorry you found out.
Is this the weed guy?
Mm-hmm. 2 years.
Dude.
And I thought we were going to get married.
Honestly, I think you dodged a bullet.
Oh, you think?
Oh, 100%.
No, I don't even
You would be the number one source of income, and like he wouldn't even.
This guy sounds pathetic.
He is. He's really
such
pathetic.
a loser.
He's really, 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 really pathetic. And
But it's always the pathetic one.
I think
it's always the pathetic ones.
The word pathetic it hits me. Like if someone called me pathetic, I think I would probably cry. Like I think that's the worst insult.
No, same.
Yeah. Like, no, that's tough.
You know what also is like really like painful? Like when you say it in like an argument where you're like you're a fucking idiot pathetic. Or like you're fucking stupid. But like in an actual argument, like it feels so mean.
Yeah.
It does.
Like you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does. That was the girl that literally looks exactly like you.
Can I see the photo again? No, it's insane.
That literally looks exactly like you.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
She has since gone blonde.
Okay, there we go. There's a little difference.
Thank God.
It'd be like you in a blonde like wig though.
And he got fat. And he got fat.
Boo-hoo.
I want to hear you sing.
Oh no.
Imagine. Sage, bring out the guitar.
No! Anyway, so that's the tea on that. He's a real piece of work. He's never going to truly be happy with himself because he is a disgusting, pathetic loser. Loser. And I hope you see this too.
Me
the thing
too.
is, I'm like in love with someone right now, and I don't. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it.
We won't say his name.
But really, it truly helped me get over it so much. Just like having a hyperfixation on someone else.
Oh yeah,
and now
does help.
I like don't talk to this kid. I like sent him all of his stuff back. Didn't tell him. Now I'm just like, probably sitting at his door, and he's like,
he's probably still in the basement.
Probably, probably, yeah.
Oh
he got
my
really
God.
fat though. So.
Yeah.
Honestly, having a hyperfixation on someone does help, unless like they disappoint you and then you get sad again.
Oh, is that how you feel right now, Sage? Can I tell her who you're talking to, but bleep the name?
Yeah.
We're talking to.
It's dead.
Sage had a major talking stage with.
The fuck? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Fucking didn't.
Yeah, she did.
Fucking didn't.
Yeah, she did. They like FaceTimed and stuff, and like.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, work.
No, like
all right, work.
Dead.
It flopped.
What happened?
But it was her fault.
I don't know. Just one day.
All right.
I don't know if like led you on is the right way to put it.
She sent me her location even.
That's
like, to meet her.
Like find my iPhone, not like.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
What
no,
the
it was
fuck?
like yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking a bunch while we were in like Paris and London.
Whoa.
You talked a
got
shit
deep.
ton when you got back. Yeah.
Yeah, we got really
That's
deep
cray.
about like personal things, and I don't really like. And then one day, like she said she had a fever, and I like sent her something that makes me feel better, and she just left it on scene, and then. And then I like a week later I sent a fall. I was like, hey, I hope you're feeling better, and nothing.
That's The silence is what really gets me.
Yeah, like, can you just tell me, like, what, like...
Tell me what happened, and then I can move on.
I just wish you got to go on, like, a date.
Me too. I think she would have really liked me in person.
Oh, you would have won her the fuck over.
Yeah, like, I think it's just a matter of time, honestly, before I run into her. Like, we literally go to the same exact places. It's only a matter of time.
That's true. Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
I am surprised that you haven't ran into her, because I've ran into her twice, haven't I?
Where?
Like out at the clubs and stuff. Okay. Like I ran it outside the box. I saw her once, and I think I saw her inside once too.
Thank you.
Or I was in. Yeah, no. Oh, no. We don't work with him anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, big update.
Yeah. No, we are starting our own like corporate, like our own like LLC or sole proprietorship.
Good.
Yeah, so that's what instead of being sub under anyone, we're just starting our own like
doing it ourselves.
Company, like working directly with the venues. It'll be a lot better. Yeah.
Good. That's the way it should be.
But we're on to better things.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you have any beef in the industry?
No.
Zero?
No.
Is this like you being media trained?
No, I'm dead serious. I don't have beef with anyone.
Okay. What was the worst encounter you've had with a celebrity?
Oh my god.
Whether it's like an embarrassing thing on your end where you like stuttered, like awkwardly, like said hi, like anything, like.
I have a question. Was anyone like a secret bitch?
I mean, I've had people like that I thought I was friends with come to the show and then not only not acknowledge me, but also like not even say a word about the show or the fact that they were there in the first place. I mean, that's always like really off-putting to me. Secret bitch. Or like have I like acted?
Like a celebrity that you met that was like not nice.
I mean, like, oh my god. Okay, you guys are gonna find this one really funny. This is the only thing I can think of. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
2017, Team Tennis in full swing. Nick Crompton.
Nick Crompton and Color State. Okay.
Him. Asshole. I was like literally 11. I was like, ah! And he was like,
He's so annoying and like he's so annoying looking too. Like, yeah. He doesn't have the right to be a bitch.
Bro,
a little girl.
I was literally like 11 and I was just happy to be there.
Am I making this up or didn't you have like a little awkward interaction with
Oh my god, that bitch!
See, I told you.
Oh my god, that bitch!
Are you serious?
Fuck.
She seems so sweet.
She's not. She's a manipulative. She is. Oh my god. She's the fucking worst.
Okay, I need the backstory.
Okay. Long story short, one of my very close friends, is in the same friend group as her. She. Oh my god, I don't even know what I can say and what I can't, but just, she like thinks she is God's gift to earth. She thinks she is like holier than thou in a way I've never seen in my life.
Wow.
Holier than anyone?
Yes. I have no service. Anyway.
Okay, so in conclusion, is a bitch.
She's a fucking bitch. Okay. Wish nothing but the worst for her. I hate that she's so talented. It's fucked.
She looking gives those vibes that she thinks she's God's gift.
Yeah, it's rough. Anyway.
But what did she do to you? Did she do anything? Or
did a lot of fucked up shit to my friends, and when I've spoken to her, she's not been nice. I'll explain that to you later.
Okay.
Oh, I have another one that I've been meaning to ask you this in general. Are you planning on ever like coming back to Pace, or is this like a?
In theory, would really, really love to come back. I want to get a degree. I think it's really important in my industry to be classically trained and to know how to be, like, how to sustain your career. Right now, things are too up in the air for me to say anything for sure, but I want to keep that door open. And in theory, I want to go back in the fall. If my life allows for it, then yeah, I want to come back at some point.
That'd be awesome.
Wait, are you studying musical theater?
Acting?
Yeah. Would you ever study at NYU? They have like
No.
Pace is a really good acting program.
Really?
Pace is one of the top 10 acting programs in the country.
Holy shit!
There's two. Okay, well, it has been a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad to see you again. And I'm excited to go out tonight because I'm ready. Yeah.
I want to bring my.
Your hubby. Mm-hmm. He'll get in. They love boys.
I know they do. They love hot boys, and he is
a hot boy.
It was so nice meeting you.
You told me tonight.
Yeah, literally. This is so. Sage isn't gonna come. She doesn't like Paul's Casablanca.
No, it's not that I don't like Paul's Casablanca.
She just doesn't like gay people.
Bitch.
That's fair.
Help.
Oh, you got disconnected. Oh, fuck. Honestly,
it's fine. Bye. I'm so happy I got
Sage,
to come on.
you have to say it.
Bye.
No. What is it? What is it again? Probation dismissed.
Oh, interrogation.
Interrogation dismissed.
Interrogation is
3,
dismissed.
2, 1.
One
Interrogation has been dismissed. Yay! Okay, great.
Okay, so Mia had to leave. She had to go back to Broadway.
You know, big girl things, I guess.
So it's just Evie and I. We're gonna talk a little bit about how Europe went.
Yep, because we were supposed to do an episode in the Amex Lounge, but it didn't really work out. They were actually dick bags.
Bitches.
Fucking hated them. I literally, oh my god, that made me so mad.
They were like, yeah, good thing you can. What'd they say? I clapped back.
I don't remember, but it was what I remember. They said something to me while you were not standing there, and then you came back, remember? Yeah, and I was like, they just said this, and they were like, they're not saying it to be rude. And I was like, well, then how is he saying it?
They said, hopefully you can get in this time.
Oh, yeah. So basically, we showed up to the Amex Lounge an hour before we were able to go in. Because there's like a 3-hour like time frame that you're allowed to like walk in before your flight. And we were like, is there any chance we can go in before? And they were like, no. Which has never been a problem before. Like every time we've gone way earlier, and they haven't given a shit, but I guess they do in fucking London. We go back about 50 minutes later, and we're like
10 minutes before the 3-hour mark.
And we're like, can we go in now? Because again, we are unshowered. We had left our Airbnb. It's really early in the morning. We're miserable. We just want to sit down, eat breakfast, and just like wait before our like 7-hour flight, 8-hour flight.
They're like, you have 10 minutes left to wait.
Like, what the fuck? So we finally come back, and we have a new receptionist, okay? They also wouldn't let us wait in the hallway right there. They made us go downstairs. It was ridiculous.
It was actually ridiculous.
Yeah. So then Sage is checking in with this person, and then Sage has to, I forget what you did. I think he took you somewhere.
Yeah, he said that it was busy, and he was like, just want to make sure, like, it's, if you have a place to sit or something.
Yeah, so he had Sage go look for a place to sit while I waited at the, like, reception table to, like, whatever. And he starts, like, I guess, trying to start small talk with me. Not really. And he's like, hopefully you guys get in this time. And I look at him. I'm like, what'd you just say? And he's like, I hope you get in this time. I was like, yeah, me too, because we're on the right time frame. Like, like, are you being just, like, what are you trying to say? And he's like, I'm not trying to be rude. And I'm like, then what are you trying to do? And then Sage comes back, and I tell Sage, I'm like, he just told me, he goes, hopefully you guys get in this time. And I'm not whispering to her because I don't care if he hears it, because what he said to me was rude.
And he like did an awkward laugh. I looked at him, and he did like an awkward laugh.
Yeah, and then the woman next to him starts trying to like defend him, and she's like, he wasn't saying it in the rude way. And I go, how is he saying it then?
And then I was like, spending $800 a year on a card, I should be able to get in.
Period.
Yeah.
And also, at this point, I hope nobody thinks that we sound rude, because we had literally been, like, nothing but respectful.
Yeah.
And they were just, like, literally
10 minutes. Like, just let me in. It's 10 fucking minutes.
What is it going to do to you?
Why make me wait out the... Yeah, it was bullshit.
Also,
anyway.
Literally, the second that we got in, everyone left.
Yeah.
Remember? There was, like, tables galore, and we were like, what do you mean it's busy?
Yeah. There was no one. No one.
Yeah. Okay, well, back to before the flights. London was a shit show.
Start from Paris.
Okay, yeah, let's actually start from Paris, because this is literally, I think that this was my reverse peak. This was my rock bottom. So very early in the mornings. 7 a.m.?
Yeah.
Sage and I are leaving our Airbnb, and we are ready to go. We pack everything, and we're like, let's get to London. I'm so excited. We have our Eurostar train. It was like $94 because we booked it in advance. If you buy it the day of, it's a lot more expensive. We like pack everything up. I'm like recording on my camera. I was gonna do a vlog, whatever. We close the door to the Airbnb. We put the keys in the mailbox, and keep in mind, this mailbox, you slide the keys through it, and then like once they drop into the mailbox, you can't like open the mailbox again. Like, it's not like that. It's like, now we're locked out. My phone's not in my pocket. In fact, it is on the counter of the Airbnb kitchen table.
With no way for us to get in a train in an hour.
Yep, less. We had our train in 50 minutes.
The drive was 20 minutes.
Yep. I was fucked anally. Like, fucked. Sage, rightfully so bullshit at me. Like, so I was like trying
so pissed. I was trying so hard not to say anything that I would regret.
Because like obviously I didn't do it on purpose, and it didn't mess anything up, but it's like, how the fuck do I forget my phone?
That phone is glued to you.
I'm on that shit like all the time. Even if I'm not on my phone, I have it in my hand. I don't like keeping it in my pocket. It's like a little thing I like to hold. Somehow managed to forget it. I'm like, Sage, like, just text the Airbnb person, tell them to come. You need to catch that train. We look at the prices of the tickets. $296 for a new ticket. Can't switch it because I missed the train. I didn't have my phone to buy myself a new ticket, so I couldn't have even switched it if I wanted to because I had already missed the first one. Sage leaves. I am not kidding. I was in this Airbnb lobby. It's not a nice lobby either. It was like there were no chairs or anything. It's just like where the mailboxes are. Probably 20 different people living in this like house building, whatever, walk by me with my suitcase, my giant duffel bag, just sitting on the ground, staring at a wall with no device, like nothing, no Wi-Fi. Miserable. The woman finally comes. I get my phone. That's when I look at the ticket prices and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm going to kill myself. Luckily, there was one an hour from that time that it was right then.
Yeah.
So I was able to get on the train and
like
go about my day.
I almost missed the train too because at that point, like, I had waited with Evan for like an extra 10-15 minutes, just contacting the person, calling them, like trying to like get her to come, and I literally had to sprint with my 2 huge suitcases to the train station, up the stairs, like get in line. I was the last person on that train. I made it by like a few minutes. It was terrifying.
Yeah, that's really stressful.
Yeah, but that day in London was my favorite.
Yeah, you got really lucky.
Because that was when I like reclaimed it. You know, that was when.
Yeah. So basically, I get to London. What, an hour and a half later than you?
Yeah, and you're also deathly sick.
Yeah. At this point, so in Paris for the last 3-4 days in Paris, I was really coming down with a sickness. I didn't know if it was strep throat. I didn't know if it was just like a common cold, whatever.
Mono. You thought it was mono.
We thought it was mono when we got to London.
I was also so upset about that.
Just like the second that I got to London, like, and was able to shower and get out of the shower, I've never felt worse in my life. I was so sick and like tired and just like drained and defeated. And so I bring myself to urgent care. They test me for mono, COVID, and strep. Then they proceed to tell me that my results won't come for another 4 days. And I'm like, you don't have the rapid tests. They're like, we don't do them here. And I'm like,
did you ever get the results back even?
No. And I'm going to get my money back.
Yeah.
BS. Never got the results. They didn't cancel. What? Like what?
I went to some private clinic for like $80. They gave me everything I needed. Super easy. In and out in 20 minutes. They gave me tea. They offered me like some cookies.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. In fact, I probably got sicker there. Anyways, so I spend the entire day that day kind of just like rotting in the Airbnb. I was really tired.
I was frolicking around London. I want to talk about that, actually.
Yeah, talk about it. That's a good idea.
Last time I was in London, I don't think I've told this on the podcast yet, but last time I was in London, I had a very traumatic experience getting broken up with. My heart ripped out of my chest. Anyways, so obviously I didn't have the greatest connotation towards London. I was a little hesitant towards going. So it was a little bit of for me, not for you, a blessing in disguise that Evan came later. Because I was able to shower and go about my day, and I decided to dedicate...
I was able to shower and go about my day.
And I dedicated that day to retrace my steps from the last time I was there, because I really just had a very negative viewpoint. So I went to the same hotel that my ex and I went to and had tea there. I wrote myself like a 10-page letter. I went to the same museum, and the whole time I was just walking around. I went into the park, into Hyde Park, and just frolicked around. And honestly, like, and listening to the same music that I used to listen to when we were together. And those experiences, like those monuments, like in my head were so damaging, and I just flipped it around and turned it into something beautiful. And after I wrote the letter and I went back into the park, I just had the most like euphoric feeling of my entire life, like as though, you know, like I had already done the healing, I had already done all that, like I was over it. But it was like the complete full circle moment of like the book just being closed, like never have to think about it again, never have to look at it again. And I felt so complete, like I felt so whole. And I just remember running around Hyde Park just feeling like the most abundant I've ever felt in my entire life. And that was why I was there. Like the whole trip, like, it was just beautiful, and I'm so happy about that. So
yeah, I was
thank you for missing the train.
Of course. And I was so concerned because Sage kind of had just told me, you didn't tell me like your game plan for that day. You kind of just told me you were going to this museum, didn't tell me it was like the one with your ex. And I was so confused because I was like sleeping for most of this, and I was like, I made a whole new do not disturb setting on my phone so that I could only receive notifications if Sage called me. And because I needed to open the door for her, I had the keys inside. And I was just like, when is this bitch coming back? Like, where is she? She was gone you were gone for 3 to 4 hours. No joke, maybe more.
I was gone for I spent almost an hour and a half, 2 hours in the museum, with the walking. And then it took me an hour to walk to the hotel. And I spent 2 hours in the hotel. I had tea there. I had a lunch. And I wrote myself literally a 10-page letter. That shit took time. And then I spent another hour walking home. But an extra I spent a good 5 hours out.
And I was rotting.
Yeah.
Then hell broke loose. Worst day of no, it wasn't the worst day of my life. That's a joke. But it was really, really devastating. And you have to understand from my perspective why it was so devastating. I don't want you to think I'm a snob. Because it's going to sound...
Yeah, give the backstory. I always give... Whenever I tell people, I give the backstory.
Okay. Backstory. My parents have been very adamant since I was 14 years old that I'm gonna have to work for what I get. I have always had jobs. I've always been working a lot over the summers. I make my own money. And then when social media became a thing for me, I was really making it into a business for myself. With the Instagram ratings, started with being free for 6 months. Then I started charging people, and now we're up to $10. It started $3, $5, $7, whatever. When I started getting really big brand deals, right now I'm working with Lightroom. They paid me a lot. I worked with Instagram creators in December. I really wanted to buy myself something that my first real designer, from the store experience, everything. So we walk into, where did we go again?
Harrods.
We went to Harrods in London, and we went to Prada. Went to lovely little Prada. Met our lovely sales associate, and he was able to find me a wallet and bag that I really, really liked. It was a lot of money. It transferred to $3,300 US. I'm going to be completely transparent because it's a lot of money, and I'm so fucking stupid, and I want you guys to never do what I did. I buy the bag and I buy the wallet, and we put them into a shopping bag from Prada, whatever.
Huge
Shopping bag. It didn't even need to be that big. And Sage and I get in a taxi because we were gonna get an Uber, but our phones were both low, so we were like, let's just do a taxi so we don't have to wait for the app, whatever. Get in the taxi, and then we go back. We're in the taxi for 25 minutes. And we get out of the taxi. Sage is I really want to shower. I feel gross right now. You can just wait in the living room. We'll chill, and then we'll go do other stuff. I left the shopping bag in the taxi, and it was never seen again. And before you're like, Evan, why didn't you call the cops? I did.
You called everyone.
I called the taxi service. I literally looked up the taxi driver's name because it was on my bank transaction. I looked it up on LinkedIn and messaged him on LinkedIn. I did everything I could. Taxi service filed missing item reports, called all of the stores that we were outside of and asked if they could give me surveillance footage. They can't do it because it's a lost item, not a stolen item. Did everything we could. Talked to the sales associate. He couldn't do anything. It is gone. And some horrible, horrible person got lucky enough to steal it out of the back of the taxi cab.
Imagine being that person. Imagine going into the taxi and seeing a left Prada bag.
Brand new. Dude. Receipt and everything. If they were a drug addict or something, they could go fucking return that and get $3,300 worth of meth.
Yeah.
Whatever they wanted.
Fucking insane. I felt
that's somebody's so rent bad. In New York.
Yeah.
For a month.
Yeah.
Horrible. So I was devastated that it actually broke my heart, and it honestly got worse from there because I just I kept trying for 2 hours. I waited outside of that Airbnb for an hour and a half praying
that the guy was going to come back,
that he was going to come back and realize that he had left it there. He didn't. Can't blame him, honestly, and I can't blame the next person.
Well, I'm sure the guy didn't even notice that you left it in there because it's so hard to see the way the taxi's set up. I doubt he looks behind him,
exactly.
Yeah, I bet he didn't even know, and I bet the next person just scooped it up.
I know.
but it's really unfortunate. But luckily, the next day we went back. Mark, that's his name, right?
I need to tell my slug story.
Oh.
Excuse you.
Okay.
That night, Sage, honestly, I mean, there was like, she tried really hard to convince me to like get up and go about my day, but I just like really couldn't. I laid on that bed or that couch for like hours. She gets dinner with our good friend Idana, who's like studying abroad in London, and they come back and we're like, okay, you know what, let's go out. So then we got a few drinks. We tried going out.
To the box. We didn't, yeah. We met that cool girl though, Faye.
Yeah, we met this really cool girl named Faye. Maybe she'll come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we went back. Sage was exhausted. She went to sleep. I wasn't tired because I had already slept like that day. And I ordered myself some Chinese takeout and a Cadbury chocolate bar from the day before. I'm watching my movie and I feel this like slimy thing on my foot and I'm like, oh my God, did I drop one of my pieces of orange chicken? No. There was a giant slug on my foot. Oh my God, I literally don't even know how I like survived this. Like I thought my heart was gonna just like stop. I like flick my leg up because it's on my foot and it won't come off. I start like yanking my foot to try to get it off. The slug lands on my chocolate bar that I had just opened. So that chocolate bar is fucking gone. I'm like on the verge of tears, like just because it was just so much built up, guys. Like it was just like so stressful. So I take the chocolate bar and I go to our little like outdoor patio and I'm trying to like flick the slug off of the chocolate bar because the slug is like sticky and it won't come off. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. I really try to like chuck the chocolate bar. The chocolate bar ends up outside and the slug ends up on the floor. I like frisbeed this chocolate bar and the slug somehow managed to like fall off inside of the house. So I then had to go grab a bunch of like paper towels and pick it up and drop it outside.
I'm glad you didn't kill it though.
No, I would never.
Thank you.
I would if I had the balls. I'm such a pussy. I don't know why the slug was scary. Like, I can kill a spider and stuff like that. That's basically the end of my slug story. I got outside, and then London got better. My mono results never came back, but we both ended up on antibiotics, and then we went home. I am going back to London with my family in December, so I'm hoping that I get to redeem my London trip.
And we did on a high note because we went back to Harrods the next day. We were invited to the Prada Cafe with Evan's sales associate Mark.
My king.
He comped the whole breakfast. It would have been like $300. Yeah, $300 breakfast.
Pounds, 300 pounds.
300 pounds, so like $350 US. It was an insane breakfast. The Prada Cafe is a must go to if you're in London. It's beautiful.
Worth the money.
It's so cool. Evan got a pair of Prada loafers. So. And
I did get, yeah.
I got a card holder.
Yeah, and Sage got a card holder. I ended up buying myself a pair of Prada loafers to ease the pain because I was like, oh, did I just shut it off? No. Because I didn't want to leave on a bad note of having zero designer. So yeah. And
that was the London segment.
That was the London trip.
You heard the Paris stuff in Paris with Gia, and that was the London lore, and now we're in New York, thriving.
And we're retired promoters.
We're retired. Well, no, we're leveled up. We have our own company now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be big.
It's going to be huge. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the end.
Do you have any updates?
No.
Any love or anything?
Nope. We talked about that with Mia a little bit.
Yeah. I have a new love interest.
Oh, the Miami guy?
The Miami guy. He's cool. He'll listen to this, though. Hi, Mason. I don't know if he'll get this far, though, so we'll see. Do you think I should go to Croatia with him this summer?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're pro.
Yeah.
Okay. I
didn't even know that was an option.
He wants me to go to Croatia.
Oh, my God, go. Why not?
We want to go to Croatia.
Well, we need to do something with the friend group, too.
I know.
I'll be in LA for a couple weeks doing a triathlon.
In where?
LA. Oh, it's in the triathlon's in San Diego.
Alif, and I was like, the fuck?
No, the race is in San Diego, but then I'm going to be in LA visiting Sam.
That's so cute.
Yeah, my sister and I will both be there.
Maybe I'll go.
Yeah, come for a couple days.
That could be fun. Sam was saying I need to meet his dogs today. Because we both have golden
retrievers
that you call ugly.
Ask him. Why not? Come to San Diego. Support me.
Yeah, and my cousin lives there too. I think that's all my updates.
That's the end of this episode. And we'll see you next time.
Also, sorry, before we actually wrap it up. After quitting our promoting job, I got laid off the next day of my other job. But it was technically an internship. It just ended a little early, so it's no big deal. But it did kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that was a good episode.
Yeah, that was lovely. Okay, well, should we say it on the count of 3?
Yeah. Well, we said it with Mia, but we'll say it again. 1, 2, 3.
Interrogation dismissed.